American forces today boarding a sanctioned oil tanker in the Indian Ocean after tracking and hunting it thousands of miles from the Caribbean.
The move comes as Washington tightens its grip on Venezuela's oil trade, slashing exports, choking off flows to Cuba in particular, while also ramping up sanctions on Russia's oil sales in President Trump's latest bid to deliver an end to the war in Ukraine.
Joining us now, former Deputy National Security Advisor Victoria Coates. Victoria, good to see you. So this story's interesting to me because it's sort of like we're not going to give up. If this is a sanctioned ship, it's operating illicitly, we're going to take it down. It's basically just putting heft behind what President Trump has said is his policy. Your reaction?
Oh, absolutely, Brian. And this is what we did during the first Trump term, and this is what the Biden people didn't do. For 4 long years, they didn't hunt any of these ships, the Iranian ships, the Russian ships, the Venezuelan ships that are moving this illicit oil around the planet, the so-called shadow fleet. President Trump's going after all of them, and they're learning that even if you get yourself all the way to the Indian Ocean, the long reach of the United States Navy and Coast Guard is going to find you. And so you can do everything down to calling the captains of these ships on their cell phones and telling them it is time for you to surrender. And if you do that, you cut off the illicit oil, we get to export more, and it's bad for our enemies and good for us and for our allies.
Even without taking direct action, it sends a critical, important message, as we pointed out, to Russia, which built up this entire ghost fleet of tankers, but also to Iran, that's continued to export oil to China. And turning to those tensions in the Middle East, Iran is digging in, saying its ballistic missile program is not up for negotiation alongside nuclear talks. This as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu heads to Washington on Wednesday to discuss Iran with President Trump. Victoria, Iran got away with this under President Obama and the JCPOA. Not anymore.
Oh, I don't think so. And the president's been very clear. For starters, he's taken action. He took action when he withdrew from the Obama-era nuclear deal. He took action last June when he ordered Operation Midnight Hammer and bombed their horrible nuclear program. And he is systematically building up with this amazing flotilla in the Middle East. So if Iran won't do the reasonable thing, he's offered them a good deal. They can have sanctions relief if they give up their nuclear program, they give up their missiles, and they give up their terrorist proxies. And that is clear. That's on the table. And then they maybe could survive. But they won't do these things, Dagan. They want to continue to be this source of instability and misery in the Middle East. And I just don't think the president's patience is infinite.
Well, and Benjamin Netanyahu coming to meet with the president, I imagine what he's saying to him is, these guys aren't serious, sir. Let's talk about what we're really going to have to do in Iran. I mean, is this at just this point planning for how to use force to get done what can happen with negotiations?
If that's necessary, and I mean, this is an unprecedented number of meetings between the president and the prime minister. I've lost count. This might be 7 in-person meetings over the course of this first year of the president's second term. Nothing like this has happened before between 2 leaders. So they are lashed up on a very personal level, making sure we're going far enough, we're not going too far, we're going to do what needs to be done in the Middle East. I think it's great the prime minister is coming. And, yes, that coordination then will be on this unprecedented level.
Victoria, and also just really quickly before we go, our energy dominance gives us so much financial power over all of these nations that want to destroy us, which we lost during Biden's term.
Well, they tried to make us lose it, Dagan. The good news is that our producers kept going. And, this is America fueling the future. This is us being energy dominant.
Boom. Love it.
Thanks, Victoria. Good to see you.